got a good entertainment coming. Sit down. Where are you going?
He means it.
You just leave it. I was going to get up and talk.
Don't start on the wrong foot.
Huh?
You guys don't start on the wrong foot.
Is that the right one?
That's the right one.
I always like to be up on stage, I guess. Here she comes. Well, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us that are here to enjoy this, Susan Rita has a fun new event this year for the Culture Center. She's an accomplished musician and will be sitting down with members of this year's festival headliners to chat about whatever they want to. And it's your chance to join in with your questions, and we'll all learn about being a professional Celtic musician, the wild surprising moments from touring and performing, upcoming projects, favorite hobbies outside of music, and much more. So if you would please, let's give a big welcome to Susan Rita and her friends. I didn't start off on the wrong foot, I hope.
Not this one also. All right.
Stage.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to get my mic right up in my face because I'm on the radio and that's how I'm used to it. So, hi, my name is Susan. I am the host and producer of Thunder on the Plains. We're Nebraska's only locally produced Celtic music radio show out of Lincoln, Nebraska. We air once a week, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central Time on Sunday evenings. So if you are enjoying yourself today and you want to get more of that Celtic music from these guys that you hear at the festival, and you can always tune in live at KZUM.org. You don't have to live in Lincoln to tune in. You can listen wherever you want. And if the Sunday evenings don't work out for you, you can always stream our archive of most recent two weeks of programming there. All that being said, if you're not going to remember any of that at the end of the chat, we've got a tent out by the merch table right by that front stage. You can get you all the details, including our schedule, contact info, social media, all that bloopity blop blop there for you after the show, or after this, whenever you want, throughout the day. All right, so what's really odd about being a radio host is that I'm usually in a studio all by myself. For the most part, I'm by myself, and then my spouse, Andrew, who you'll see outside, he is sitting behind me quietly, not on the microphone, doing all the tippity typing during the program to making sure the social media is up to date and things like that. But for the most part, I'm by myself. And over the past year and a half, due to safety protocols at the radio station that I'm a part of, KZUM, he's not even been in the studio with me. So I have been all by myself talking behind a microphone for a year and a half. So to have 5 very handsome gentlemen sitting on stage with me is a little overwhelming, I have to say, but also just such a treat. So normally what I do at Greeley Irish Festival is I will take these lads into a private room, and then for about 20 minutes, we just talk around little kid desks and tables that are really, really tiny because their green rooms are up in the classrooms. And I'll do interviews and then record those interviews for the radio program. And this year we're trying something new. We're inviting all of you to sit in on our chats. We're combining a couple of band members together. Do you want to come in? Yeah, here we go. We're going to kind of curve. We'll make room. We'll squeeze. Hey. Maybe we can do a little crescent here, and if we need to grab mics, we can grab mics. So, woo!
I can stand up right here too. Sit on over.
You're all keeping me safe. I appreciate it. Safety first. I just want to make sure I'm looking at these guys while I'm chit-chat with them. We've got some of the lads of Miles from Dublin and some of the lads of Colonial Bhoys here on stage, and we're just going to be chit-chatting. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and then we can have you ask your questions for the band. Otherwise, we're just going to have a nice little chat. So, how are you guys doing?
Great. Yeah, it's
good. I'm wondering if you want to have, oh, there we go. That's Adam's voice here. I'm wondering if it would be okay if we just had them pass the mics around so they can pass the mics. So feel free.
Grab them down already.
And I think for safety purposes, maybe we can have one for one band and one for another band so we can be microphone bubbled, you know, all this safety stuff. I'm gonna promise you that we are not gonna say the P word on this stage, you know, panini, Pandora, Panorama, Panera Bread. We're not going to mention that, but we are probably going to talk a little bit about the consequences of the past couple of years and how that's impacted the musicians. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys just kind of introduce yourselves to everybody and let us know who you are and what you play in your band. So we're going to start here with the Wild Colonial Boys.
I'm Tony, I play the fiddle with the Wild Colonial Boys.
I'm Adam, I play guitar and sing Wild Colonial Boys.
Okay, wait. Tell us what your shirt says for those who might not be able to read it from a distance.
I don't know.
Do you want me to read it for you, Adam?
Yes, please.
I'd rather be someone's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea. Aww.
That's good. I like that.
You have nice taste in clothes, Adam. I'm Andy. I play bass in the Wild Colonial Boys, and sometimes they let me sing too.
Aw. All right, and these lads over here, spry young men.
I'm Greg, and I play whistle, flutes, and electronic bagpipe in the Miles from Dublin band.
My name is Tim. I play guitar and sing with Miles from Dublin.
And I'm Mike, and I'm from Kearney. Play mandolin with Miles from Dublin.
And Mike there is wearing the t-shirt. Do you guys have those here, or are we still waiting on another run?
You know, we don't have those anymore. They were designed by Greg's wife many years ago.
Oh.
And she's very talented.
One
Very
left.
talented.
Price just went up.
This was
Very
Greg.
high
You'll-
demand.
You'll have a
Maybe
deal
we can do
for
an
you.
auction. We can do an auction, maybe. All right. So one thing that I've noticed on this lineup at the Greeley Irish Festival main stage this year is that every single band, their name has 3 words in it. So we've got Wild Colonial Boys, we've got Miles from Dublin, we've got The Town Pants, and we have Chance the Arm. So that makes you wonder. Are there any theories over why a 3-word band name is ideal? So maybe talk a little bit about how your group came up with your band name.
Sure.
If you have an idea, or if it was just
Yeah,
random.
no, it's not random at all. And I have to say, Susan, it's nice of you to throw us into the 3-word band names and not 4, because we always make a point of saying we're Wild Colonial Boys, not the Wild Colonial Boys. So you nailed it there.
I'm gonna have to talk with the Town Pants. Are they the Town Pants
I don't
or
know.
just Town Pants?
I've
Stay
always-
tuned for the afternoon Q&A session and we'll find out for sure.
Wild Colonial Boys, we got our name because initially we started as an acoustic guitar duo. There are 2 of us, and myself and a guy called Gino Carlson, and Gino was from Canada. And so we were kicking band names around. We were originally called Far From Home because we were based in Minnesota, but neither of us was originally from Minnesota. So Far From Home sounded kind of something cool, but then that didn't work as well. We wrote a song called Far From Home, and so we just kept it that way.
There's
And
a tune called Far From Home as well.
Right, exactly, yeah. We named the song after the tune. But stumbled on Wild Colonial Boys, because the song Wild Colonial Boy was an Irish song, and we got requests for it, so that's cool. We were both young and wild. We were both from former colonies of the British Empire, and we spell it Bhoys, which is not a typo, but it's a reference to Glasgow Celtic Football Club, which is my favorite soccer team. They're known as the Boys, Bhoys, because it's supposed to be, it's like as though someone was pronouncing it with like a Cork accent. The Boys.
Vice.
The Bhoys. So Wild Colonial Boys came from that. That's long-winded. Sorry about that. There you go.
You're fine. How about you guys? Where does Miles from Dublin come from?
Well, we were struggling with coming up with a name, and I came across a tune called Within a Mile of Dublin. And I thought, well, our music is really musically the miles from Dublin in many ways. And geographically, we're a lot of miles from Dublin. So the name kind of stuck, and we've been going with it ever since.
That sounds very organic, like out of conversation solidifies a band name.
Yep.
That's nice. So great. Well, the lads of Wild Colonial Boys, we got to talk about this album that's coming out for you. You just released a new one. Can we talk a little bit about the inspiration behind that, how that went down, and where folks can get more info about it?
Sure. We just released a new album called Remote Rulia Bulia. Ruliabulia is an Irish language term that means kind of like rambunctious, fun, rollicking, good times, you know. So it's remote because we recorded it all during the Pandora, and we were never in the same space, which is unusual when you're recording music. You kind of want to at least maintain eye contact with someone at the same time. But we did all the tracks on our own from our own houses, and then we mixed them together that way. So we had a Patreon program, and still do if you want to join our Patreon program. Shameless plug. But for our patrons, we had released a song a month as a project to provide some engagement and to make sure people knew the band was still around, and to give ourselves something to do, because we didn't see each other for 6 months at one point.
Oh, wow.
We were never in the same place. We were just trading files on the internet and texts and phone calls and that kind of thing. So we put this album together out of tracks from our Patreon sessions that we had done, and some additional material, and we decided this is good enough to release as an album. Let's put it together. We hadn't done an album since 2019, 18, so it was time anyway. And so we put all these tracks together, had them mastered, and released it as a collection of songs that we had done remotely during our break from reality, we'll say. And so it's available today for the first time in Greeley. Just came out a few weeks ago, Remote Ruliabulia, and sounds pretty good, so check it out.
Nice. Any unique challenges that you discovered recording separately as opposed to recording in the studio? And did you have any like nice surprises as part of that process, recording absolutely in all different locations?
I think what I can add to that is I actually kind of enjoy it on some levels, just being by myself with the song, to just, you know, I could spend a day or two to really like craft different sections, see where the bass line is going to help take the song. Where kind of typically, if you're in a recording situation, time is kind of money, so you try to just nail it as quick as possible. It's nice to have some extra time.
You could really get creative with the process and try different takes and things like that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
So you really found yourself at a place where you were kind of really proud of what you were able to achieve in terms of exploring the tunes and your instrumentation part in the tunes.
Yeah, for me, I like that, and I give Adam a lot of credit. I think the remotely thing, it could very easily not have sounded very good, and you know how to turn those dials, I guess.
So you did the mixing and mastering? Is that what you're saying?
I did the mixing. I didn't do the mastering. I mixed the album. Yeah, I didn't master it. We had somebody, an actual mastering engineer, do that, because it's always better to have another set of ears on your stuff when you're mastering. But yeah, we brought it all together. People would basically Dropbox their parts in WAV files, and I would dump it into the computer and twist a few knobs. There we go.
I'm noticing a timeline thing here. Like the first day that the Pandora really hit us was St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Almost exactly 18 months ago, I think.
Yeah. Solid year and a half now.
We were supposed to go to Chicago, and everything got wiped out, and then we started doing the remote stuff that day.
Nice. So, folks, if they want details or if they want the album, it's actually out on a physical CD now?
Correct. We printed it to physical discs because not everybody's up with the online thing. If you are, it's on Spotify now. But if you'd like a physical copy of the disc, we have them here for sale. The merch tent is right next to the main stage there, just kind of out this door, really. And Macy, our merch person and manager, is out there flogging them away. So, Remote Ruliabulia.
All right, and our Miles from Dublin folks. Now, I have to say I have a very close personal relationship with this band, with the lads of this band, because they actually performed at our wedding 12 years ago. They were our wedding reception band, but they were actually a different name, and the band has had some evolution since then. One of the newest ones is your drummer. You have a new drummer, and I don't know if new is exactly the word since he's been here a few years, but if somebody wants to kind of introduce him, because he's not on stage right now, and tell us a little bit about the evolution of the band so far. Oh, is he there?
He's over there. His name is John Jacobs.
Hi, John. Everybody say hi, John.
Hi, John.
He is a superb percussionist and singer. And it's been a couple years now that he joined us. We actually kind of, when Aaron Swoboda, who was one of our charter members, moved away, to New Orleans. It was a little too far to rehearse. And so,
Really?
yeah. And so we kind of went on hiatus for a while. And then the three of us got back together for St. Patrick's Day at Cunningham's Journal in Kearney. And we thought, this is kind of fun. So we did that for a couple of years. And then we were able to invite John to join us after he moved to Minden and took over the band director's job there. And he's now in Grand Island doing the same thing. But we're really glad to have him. We actually did, you talk about the 3-word name, Wild Clover Band. We did have 3 CDs that we produced with them. The third one, Behind the Blarney, is on Spotify since we're doing shameless plug.
Oh, go ahead.
It's called Behind the Blarney from the Wild Clover Band. And I think we've just been berated by a festival guest who's been a fan of ours since Wild Clover Band for not having a current CD with Miles from Dublin. So I think we're going to have to undertake that project.
Well, I'm glad somebody did it and it wasn't me because I was getting ready to. That was going to be my next question, and it's still.
She scolded me pretty good when she found out we didn't have a CD with
Are
the
there
project.
plans in the works for getting something going?
There will be now.
Oh, okay, good.
Because I don't want to see her at the next gig and say, "What are you doing?"
We want more.
Yeah.
We want more, Tim. We want more. All right. So we talked a little bit about with you guys the challenges of this parallelogram, on the recording process. But how about you folks, Miles from Dublin? You're from a few different locations here in central Nebraska. What did the past year and a half look like for you as a band?
It was pretty bleak. You want to take that one?
You said that. It was March 13th. It was the last time we had played a year and a half ago. And when we finally got back together, and I play with a lot of different groups, I didn't know how humbling it was and how much I appreciated playing music again in front of live people. That was, you kind of get pretty slack. You're playing all the time, and you can get lazy, and then it made a big difference. You really appreciate it.
Good. Is this isn't your first gig performing in 18 months, is it?
How did we sound?
No, it's fine. I don't know. I mean, you sounded fine, so I'm asking. Like, it was you. Have you had a chance to perform?
We have, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've had. In fact, we were at the Greeley County Fair in Spalding just a few weeks ago, and we've been playing some pubs and some various things around the area. So yeah, this isn't. We didn't come out of retirement for today.
Okay. Well, good. But we better be getting that album coming out by next Greeley Irish Fest. We're expecting, that process to happen here. So,
Okay.
What do you folks think? So, just kind of some general questions, putting you on the spot here. What do you think? What would you like the greater Celtic music community to know about how the past 18 months has impacted musicians that you think that the music community might not be aware of? So what are some things that you have experienced that you think that musician lovers in general, or Celtic music lovers in general, might not be aware of, but probably should know about how the past 18 months has impacted the Celtic music, the musicians?
You want to hit that one, Greg?
No. Yeah, I mean,
know
it's
it's deep.
money monetarily. It's been dire for us. We, this is our primary means of income. Everybody in the band is a professional musician, and it was hard. It's been very hard. Still is hard. So I would be remiss not to address the monetary issue. But I think the important thing is that people need to realize that to be a musician, to play in a band and stuff is more of it's your lifeblood. It's hard not to play music, like you said, to live people. Playing tunes in your basement is great and all, but unless you're in front of people, in my opinion, you suffer from that artistically, and just something's just missing. It's not there. It's supposed to be. It's flat, exactly. There's a give and take, and it's our interaction with a crowd of people gives us energy to perform. I'm sure it does for you guys as well. But without that connection, that got really hard. I like to look at the positive side of things, and so I'll say we got an album out of it, and that's great. But yeah, that was missing a little bit. I indulged my introverted side quite a bit, but 18 months is enough. So.
Only read so many books. How about you guys?
Well, not being a touring band, it wasn't as dire as it was for them, but it still was. It was kind of a sad time for us because we're friends, we enjoy getting together. We just play around the region, and so you know, it's money for guitar strings and things like that for me, and then they buy their toys, you know, we buy our toys with it. But still, I know we all missed it when we couldn't do it, and we missed the fellowship and the camaraderie and the interaction with people who hopefully like what you do and will clap when you're done.
Well,
I think music is good for the soul.
say that again?
I said, I think music is good for the soul. I think music has a lot in the healing process of all this too. And when you're having physical, mental, social issues, whatever, music, I don't care if you're learning or just learning or professional, whatever, but it's a great resource to have.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah, there's a question.
Did you find that you wrote more songs while you were in the Panorama Center? You know, when you guys are touring all the time, and you guys got separate jobs, I presume, while you're musicians.
Right.
Did you find that you were writing more during this? Subject matter, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, subject matter, writing.
I think at least from my perspective, and I do a bit of the songwriting in the band anyway, I found it was both more prolific but also harder to get through, I think, which is strange. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I think that the subject matter was kind of like, oh, what am I inspired by here? And I'm staring at these same four walls and I really haven't been anywhere, so it's tough.
Everything's in minor key.
Yeah, right? A lot of minor songs.
Everything's in minor key, he says.
You know, so
Slow
yeah.
tempos, dirges.
I got songs
laments.
out of it. I got songs out of it for sure, but there was a certain degree of, I felt constrained, if that makes sense. Normally, if I'm out and about, I keep my phone on me and I have notes in my phone if I find something appealing. Oh, that'll make a good song. Look at that Pepsi sign. I'll make a song about that or whatever. And I'll write it down, or a lyrical snippet will come into my head and I'll write that down. And if you're not out and about, you have less of a chance to find inspiration in your surroundings, if that makes sense. But yeah, so yes and no. It's a good question.
It is a very good question. So, are there any other questions that are coming up? Feel free to raise your hand, shout them out. It's fine with me. So, my question for you guys, were there any happy discoveries that you made during this downtime? Did you pick up a hobby that you're like, this is great, I'm in love with doing this thing now? Or I didn't discover how much a nerd I was about Star Trek, but I am. Or you discovered you wanted to become a mermaid, and so now you have a mermaid tail and you swim in the lake regularly. Oh wait, that's just me? No, just me?
Well, I went back to school, and I'm a physics major now, so that's different.
How's it going so far?
Pretty good so far.
Nice.
It's hard, but
Yeah, I remember those.
Back to school too.
What?
Tony's been back to school longer, so I don't want to take away from that. But yeah, I just started. I'm going to try to get a music therapy degree.
Oh, wow.
So talk about the healing power of music.
That's amazing. That's that's so epic to be able to buckle down and get your education and to be able to do that. How about you guys? Any fun hobbies?
Well, I'm a stay-at-home dad with 8 school-age kids.
Woo!
So you can probably guess what was going on at our house during the Pandora time.
you still got some color in your hair. How'd you do that?
It's gone.
Greg, you were going to say something.
Well, no, I not besides getting a physics degree, but I learned how to cook.
Nice.
I'd done that.
Favorite dish? What are you most proud of?
The pizza I usually go out and pick. No.
Oh.
I became a vegetarian, and so I don't have a favorite dish.
Oh, okay. Just anything that's not meat.
But it really opened up my world when you had to cook for yourself and
Yeah.
a few stops at the grocery store and how to throw
Plan
things together.
and-
And it was kind of a creative process because you just use what you had and throw it together. And my wife was always hungry, so she couldn't be. You can't really be critical because that's your lunch. So I was in a good place.
There you go, there you go. So now that we're back, well, at least to some degree, we're back here at Greeley. I know that Greeley is kind of a unique festival in that it's got some major lineups, but it is a very small town. So what are other ways that you have noticed in your musician careers that sets Greeley apart or that makes Greeley different from other events or festivals that you have played at? Now, I'm not saying this as like a, hype Greeley up, this is an advertisement for Greeley, although it can be, but I'm kind of just curious about what the comparisons are that you've noticed that make Greeley different from other festivals in your performance or on your touring schedule in the past.
I would say the fact that everyone seems to be related to everyone else here. But in all seriousness, there's a sense of family here. There's a sense of community here that is definitely not present, and we've played pretty much all the major festivals the major Irish festivals in the United States, with Milwaukee, Dublin, Ohio, Syracuse, New York. We've played, the Irish Fair, Minnesota. Iowa Irish Fest, blah, 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 blah. But Greeley is definitely different. There is something here, I don't know if it's in the water or the air maybe, but there's something here that makes it really special. It's a fun community. I don't know what it's like in June or December here, but this weekend is really awesome in this town, So it's hot and then it's cold. But I think that sets it apart, is that sense of community and that sense of togetherness. You can tell, because it's a small town, obviously people know each other and are related to one another to some extent, but there is that sense of people pulling together, and this is just a community festival as opposed to like your Milwaukee festival is a corporate festival. They put that on to make money. Here, this is something different than that, and I think it's really cool.
Cool. How about you guys? I know you're more locally based in the events that you perform at and you've performed at through the years. What makes Greeley different from other venues or maybe other festivals that you have performed at locally or regionally?
Yeah, it's really, there's a sense of, I don't want to say intimacy, but I mean, you can really look out and see the people and they're with you. Now, of course, the chairs are far enough back that they must have good throwing arms if they don't like what you're doing. But I think that's kind of how, being a Nebraskan, we got the Husker game on. It's really a sense of bringing the world to a small town and enjoying the sharing it. It's just, I appreciate how much everybody gets into it out there. You can see them right there with you, and I think you guys have probably seen that too. They're ready for this.
Yeah.
The folks here are ready for this, and they come out and they really show up and they really enjoy it.
Great. Awesome. Well, Greg, you had touched upon how you really got into cooking over the past 18 months, and you really enjoyed exploring that and kind of nerding out a little bit about cooking. Here's a question for the rest of you lads here on the stage. Musicians, I've noticed through the years of doing interviews, they are very, very nerdy about their music. Passionate, is the word that a lot of people like to toss around. We're passionate about our music, but I am the type of person that I know that we geek out about it. We geek out about other musicians that we like, that we hear, and we talk to each other about, did you hear this album that just got released? Did you see that person's whistle? It's so fancy, and we really nerd out about it. And then I realized that musicians are not just nerdy about their music. They're nerdy about so many things. So, what are you guys nerdy about outside of the Celtic music scene?
I believe I've already answered this one.
No. Okay, as a fellow former physics major, I didn't last more than a semester and a half at that major, but I was very into it. What specifically do you love about physics?
Oh boy. I guess I like math. I like the mathematical reasoning behind it. That's about as nerdy as it gets. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
music is math.
Supposedly a connection between music and math. I haven't figured it out yet. But.
It's very logical. Yeah, it's that connection between the logical and the creative side that. Yeah. Nerdy. What are you nerdy about? What do you geek out about?
Tiki bars. I like tiki bars. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Just trivia itself.
Trivia. I enjoy trivia.
Are you a Trivial Pursuit person?
Yeah.
Do you get really competitive about it?
No.
That's what we did last
Wait. What? No, you gotta pass the mic. People have to hear it.
They were, in fact, playing 80s Trivial Pursuit at 2:30 this morning.
Oh, man. Who won?
And I would only play. Adam gifted me 4 pies before we even started, and I'm pretty sure I still lost. Actually, I know. I don't know. It was pretty late. I actually don't remember it very much, but
It was more about the experience than the keeping score.
You didn't win, did you?
Well, we didn't really. We abandoned the game. It was late. But no, I didn't lose.
Who won?
No, we didn't finish. It's still, the board is set up. We'll probably do that later.
I had the most pies because I had 4 pies.
That's
It's
right.
like a chess game that goes on for days. They sit it down, they go to an Irish festival,
Tony's
they
a
come back
chess
to
player.
the game.
Tony plays chess like online against Asian people and stuff. He's like ranked.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not true.
Fine, Middle Eastern.
I'm a perfectly average chess player.
What,
More than us.
Just more than most people.
what did you think of the Queen's Gambit?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. Chess player seal of approval. Awesome.
You
Awesome.
guys are like twins.
We're gonna have to talk
Physics
more later.
major chess players.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to nerd about these things. Okay, but come on, guys. You've seen a few things in your day. I know. Had a lot of. No. But I know them, and I know where they've been.
Well, for me, I focus a lot on parenting skills. 8 kids, you know.
Yeah.
So you're a nerd, Mike.
You're a nerd, Mike, is what the past phrase was.
Practicing every day.
Actually, yeah, 4:30. But that's my time of day because I love music, and it's my quiet time. So I'm up at 4:30 and I play till 6:30. Then I get in the shower and go to work. So,
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know it's nerdy, but
No,
it's
what
my
does that
time.
what does that entail? What is that process like for you? Like, are you just playing whatever comes to your mind, or do you have like a structured, like, I'm going to practice this tune today,
Well,
or is it just?
There's tunes I want to learn, and there's backing tracks, and there's sheet music, and there's instruments, there's picks, there's strings, you name it. It's just fun to research that and play it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, that's
so.
great. Well, okay, so here is a question that is a little meta. Unless there's any other questions that are from the crowd? Yeah, go ahead.
Just a comment, maybe. There's 4 of these gentlemen who were here at the very first Summer Festival in '07. Only they were Wild Colonial Boys.
Wild Clover Band?
Wild Clover Band.
Yeah.
Tony played fiddle with Peter Yates, our very first year. And Adam, you were here in 08, 09.
Something like that, yeah. I don't remember the first year we were here. Yes, we were definitely, I'm having flashbacks right
It
now.
all comes back to 2010.
Is that the year?
Yeah, it's the year.
It was like 40 degrees and drizzly, sleety rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did interviews
That was
in
fun.
the tent under blankets outside. And
Yes.
That's good times. Good times.
Yeah, we ran out of food that year too.
Really?
That's right.
Yeah, we had one food vendor. He had supposedly some.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
he
right.
was gonna all kinds of food. He thought it was an afternoon, like a noon type deal.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
At least you didn't run out of beer. That would be the big
Oh
problem.
my gosh, that would be terrible.
I think they bought up every hot dog in town. They went to the Pizza Hut to get pizzas.
They bought the Pizza Hut out of pizza in St. Paul. I think he got
Wow.
That's why we love Greeley.
Yep. that's
Yeah,
why we love
exactly.
music.
Exactly.
Determination.
All these stories, so yeah. So here is a very meta question for y'all. What is the weirdest, strangest, or funniest question you have ever been asked in an interview?
That one right there.
Probably
That
it,
one?
yeah.
Oh, are you? I didn't mean to go that meta. I figured there'd be something even more like awkward. Or,
I have one.
Okay.
I have one. I did a Q&A with a local dance school in St. Paul, Minnesota. They dance a lot with us. Rinkin Cree, they're called. And I did a Q&A with all the kids, and one of them asked me if I liked pets.
Aw, do you like pet? Wait, did they mean like animals or like?
Well, hopefully animals.
Good,
There was no-
Adam.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
Adam.
No, yes, they asked, she was very earnest. She raised her hand. It's a cute little girl. She says, "Do you like pets?"
You answered yes.
Yeah,
correct.
well,
Okay, that's
yeah.
the only acceptable answer.
I was also asked what my favorite color was in that interview as well, which is blue, I would say.
Okay.
But that would be Yeah, those are mine.
I don't have one.
On to the next question.
Okay, the weird ones. All right. So, if there was who would you collaborate with as your band? What is a Celtic artist that you would love to collaborate with if given the opportunity for your band? Maybe a band or just a solo artist. If you had your pick of any other Celtic artist out there, who would you collaborate with?
Well, I'd sit in with Planksty. That's like the ultimate fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if I ever had a chance for that, that would be like winning the Super Bowl for me.
Is Finbar Fury still alive?
Yeah. Yes, Finbar Fury is still alive. He's still recording.
Finbar Fury.
Okay.
That would be really cool.
Probably the Young Dubliners, because they're kind of like our big brothers. We toured with them when we were kind of first starting out. And
You've not collaborated with them yet?
not on anything recorded or live. Like I've sang on stage, a song or whatever with them. So okay, that doesn't count. Damien Dempsey, I would say, who's a Dublin-born, Dublin-based singer-songwriter who sings. It wouldn't be necessarily, in the Celtic realm per se, but he has an incredible repertoire of really cool original songs, and he's one of my favorites. I'd say Damien Dempsey.
Nice.
I'd probably say Kate Rusby. Now that I think about that, she's English, so I probably shouldn't. But I don't know, it's the same kind of flavor, so I think
She sings a lot of stuff from Cornwall and Wales, so you're fine. It's fine. She's good. She's good.
Gets a pass.
She gets a pass, yes. Her Christmas albums are fire, so it's, she gets a total pass, so. Yep. And you guys, any desire, or is it Planksty across the board for Miles from Dublin?
Natalie McMaster.
Ooh, Natalie McMaster. Yeah. Natalie McMaster, a fiddle player from Canada, so, yep, very, very good. Yep. Very good, so. Let's see, what song or album release are you folks most proud of? Now, I know Miles from Dublin is a little bit limited. We're still waiting on that album to get released, but they're working on it. So what piece or arrangement, even if it's not recorded yet, are you folks most proud of as a group? It can be an album, it can be a specific song.
I would say our 2021 release for Moat Rulia Bulia, which you can pick up here at the Greeley Irish Festival today. Available on Spotify, Apple Music, and via physical disc.
And remember, it was a tough year financially last year, so get out there and pick up that CD.
Thank you.
They need everyone's support. I think we all probably agree that the third Wild Clover Band album, Behind the Blarney, and I'm not saying that facetiously because it is on Spotify, we felt like that was where we were as a band, and that was some of our best work that we did as that particular group. And I think that would be the one I'd feel the best about.
Do you know that that album is one that almost got me in trouble as a DJ?
Uh-oh.
So, do you mind sharing a story time?
Was it the Blarney Stone song?
Uh-huh.
I thought it might, yeah.
So,
it's a little PG-13 in it.
It is, but here's the deal. In radio, we have to abide by FCC guidelines if we want to remain on the airwaves, and that means you can't say certain words. There's a certain 7 words that you absolutely can't say, and then there's like this nebulous, gray area of words that might be offensive, that fall into kind of that offensive, obscene category. But when it comes to dialects that are outside of American dialects, like different accents, different turns of phrase from other countries, words can mean different things, and that means that those words might not fall under that obscene technical nature, depending on the context in which the word is said. For example, PISS. There's little ones, so I'm just going to be... So if you say that word in the context of drinking and getting drunk, as is wont to do in a lot of Irish music, that is completely acceptable for me to play on the air. When it's in the context of getting drunk, you say that word, it's fine. It's totally fine for airplay. And so I have that on a lot of music. I think you guys might have a song that I play that on. I don't know.
Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
Yeah, I could probably play that. Right. However, their song, The Blarney Stone, is a is about a American person literally relieving themselves on the Blarney Stone and cursing themselves because of said act. What? Yeah.
Wouldn't want to kiss it then.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to kiss it. Especially not now during this George Papadopoulos we got going on, so it's just not going to work. Well, I didn't realize it, and I was pretty new DJ when that album came out, and I was so excited, and I love that song because it's an original song, and I was playing it, and I was playing it, and I was playing it, you know, a few times every couple of months. You know, it was getting a lot of airplay, and then we had this review about what words were acceptable and not acceptable, and I sat down and I thought, this is not the word that it means getting drunk. This is the literal other word that is more commonly used in America, and luckily no one called me out on it, and I just quietly stopped playing that song. So it got airplay, but it hasn't in a while. So, but it almost got me in trouble on the radio. So
Because we did use the other connotation of that on our second album with the Old Dun Cow.
yes, and
where
I
we
can
were
play
all
that
half-
on the show.
Yeah, but
we
that's
can play Old Dun Cow.
that's where it means getting drunk and not defiling the blinds.
It's very complicated. Yeah, question.
Is Rulia Bulia one word? Or
2 words. 2 words. RUAILLE space BUAILLE.
That is correct.
You're welcome. Rulia Bulia.
Next, Greg, your word is. We are kind of sitting like this is a spelling
You know,
bee.
you guys are talking about albums, and I have telling my niece, a 14-year-old, about an album that I really liked, and she just looked at me like, is it a wedding album? Album is pictures. She thought albums were pictures, because she grew up in CDs and you know,
Oh, yeah,
MP3s
MP3s.
and stuff, and so when we say the word album, it's good to know they're coming back. But,
Yeah.
but a lot of the younger kids,
We're
they
trying
think-
hard
they
anyway.
think an album is pictures.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, yep, that next generation. And I've noticed that, at least in the Celtic music scene, even though a lot of music in the general greater music industry has really gone digitized, in the Celtic music industry, there's still that personal touch about having a physical CD, especially at a festival that I think a lot of Celtic music lovers like to have to support. Is that something you've also noticed, is people want that tangible way to support the artists?
For sure. Our downloads don't do anywhere near as well as physical album sales. My mother is not interested in downloading music. She wants a CD, so we keep printing CDs, you know.
Right.
But yeah, because at festivals you need to have something to give people to go away with. You can't just tell them, oh, go download the thing or go listen on Spotify, because then they're not going to do it, number one, and number two, you've lost an opportunity to kind of connect with someone and make a fan or what have you.
Well, and depending on your cell phone carrier here in Greeley, reception might not be that great. I speak from personal experience in past years, so there you go. Yeah, so sometimes it's nice to be, you know, have something you can listen to offline. So, and I think right now, I think I speak for all the musicians who are performing here, we're still kind of in a nebulous industry space where gigs are not guaranteed, and there's still, you know, the possibility of gigs getting booked and then canceled last minute, and even the booking schedule is still probably pretty thin, if it's safe for me to say.
Yeah.
So one of the best ways to support these artists is, even if you weren't normally plan to purchase an album or a t-shirt, to go and check out their merch table and to give them their support, because they do need that now more than ever. And if right now that's not in your budget, what are other ways that fans can come and support you?
Well, we have, like I mentioned earlier, a Patreon program, which, if you're not familiar with Patreon, is sort of an online, it's sort of set up like the old school way of patronizing an artist. You know, rich people gave artists money and they went and made art. You know, the Medici in Italy kind of started that, I think. But Patreon, Patreon,
That is correct.
.com/Wild Colonial Boys, you get, there are various levels of a monthly donation. It's as low as $5 a month, and it's a kind of a automatic deduction out of your bank account or credit card or whatever, and we give you a song a month that we record. We're in the middle of doing one right now that is kind of an exclusive thing, and you get to kind of give a little bit to the artists to try to keep them afloat. It's a rather popular way to do things, but we got in on that right, I think April of last year, and we've been going strong with it. So Patreon is a good way. Venmo, PayPal, whatever, however you want to give us your money, we'll take that. Cash
And that, if
is
people
king.
are interested in that,
Yeah.
they can get those details at the merch table.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. How about you guys? Do you have like social media websites?
We do. We have a Facebook page, Miles from Dublin. Sounds like we're going to have to finance a CD project, so we'll probably be doing something like Adam was
Patreon.
talking about. Yeah.
You need somebody to mix it.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
We're all about
Yeah, let's-
collaborating. See it right here.
Yeah, let's exchange info before we're done here. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, great. And then if folks wanted more details online about Wild Colonial Boys, where would they go?
WildColonialBoys.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Great. And one thing that I've learned as a radio DJ, and I'm just going to throw this out here, is that I know times are tough for a lot of folks right now, not just musicians in the industry. One way that if you are on social media, one way that you can help support these artists without spending a dime is by following their profiles on whatever social media platform you're on. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook or anything, if the artists that you love also have a platform there, to go and follow them, like them, and then whenever you see their content on your page, interact with it. So that means, give it a heart or a thumbs up or whatever that means. And then if there is a comment section, to comment there, a sentence, just whatever, just something. Because what happens in this new digital age that we're in, if the more people interact with posts and content from an artist's social media page, the more that little sciencey, mathic, algorithm says, oh, this is cool stuff that more people want to see and get involved in. So the more that you interact with their stuff, even if it's something as mundane as we're going to be at this festival 1,000 miles away and you know that you're not going to go there, interact with it, give it a heart, and then say, have a great time, thanks for playing. Something that little can take you 30 seconds of your day, and if everybody does that, that can actually help get their music and their information out, and you're helping those artists without spending a dime. So just want to get that word out for folks. If you're looking for
Susan.
more ways to support the artists, that is a really easy way to do so. If buying an album is not in your budget right now. So
Yes, thank you. We appreciate that.
yeah. Are there any other questions that folks have for our artists right now before we finish up? Okay. Well, when are we going to perform? Do you have your schedule memorized, or do you have your wranglers going to tell you when you're going to perform next? When are these guys going to see you on the stage next?
We're on at 5:20.
5:20. All right.
We're next at 3:50.
All right. Well, we better let you guys get going. Wild Colonial Boys, Miles from Dublin, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with us. We really do appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll be back here at 5:15 to chat with the other two bands on the main stage, Chance the Arm and the Town Pants, right here at 5:15. Thanks.
It's a live